Hi everyone. So the occurrence of pestiferous insects and weeds is unavoidable in agriculture. So by growing a genetically homogeneous crop over vast areas of arable land, we are simply inviting numerous pests and pathogens to an oasis of nutritious and not very well defended host plants. This is because the vast and genetically homogeneous crop fields emit strong chemical signals that signal the presence of healthy and nutritious plants to insects. This homogeneity is also meaning that there is a lack of diversity and thus numerous unoccupied ecological niches in agroecosystems are there, and this enable virulent pathogens and highly competitive weeds to invade and colonize the area. This lack of diversity and its inherent weakness against weeds and pests characterize almost all modern agricultural fields. Pest control and pest management measures are hence essential for the sustainability of agriculture. And although pesticides have helped us to fend off many of the nasty infestations and outbreaks of pests, weeds, and pathogens for a while, the extensive use of pesticides have created another problem, which is the selection of pesticide-resistant genotypes. So, given this setback, alternative methods of crop protection are now needed to mitigate the pesticide resistance problems. Biological control or biocontrol is one of those effective alternatives for crop protection. Biocontrol is simply using natural enemies of an insect, pest, or a weed against it. In this regard, there are numerous species of predators and parasitoids that attack and kill multiple insect pests, and also we have insect species that can defoliate weedy plants or destroy their seeds. Here in Canada and also in Europe, a lot of work is being done on weed seed predation by seed predators. Those seeds are the main reproductive unit of annual weeds, and by destroying these seeds, seed predators have the potential of suppressing weed populations in agricultural fields, keeping those weed outbreaks in check. Seed predators include ants, ground or Carabid beetles, crickets, earthworms, mice, and also birds. Here at the University of Saskatchewan, we work mainly on ground beetles, and my work mainly centers around ground beetles, and my research tries to decipher the mechanisms of seed feeding in those beetles in terms of how ground beetles detect and discriminate among seeds of different species and why they prefer certain seed species over others. In fact, seed preference is one of the big mysteries in seed predation ecology, and for this reason, I carry out sensory and behavioral studies to identify the type of sensory information ground beetles use to detect the presence of different seed species and how they use this information to identify seed species that are suitable for consumption. Up to now, we can say that our work has shown that rabbits rely on olfactory receptors on their antennae to detect seeds of different species and determine those species that are suitable for consumption through their chemistry. So basically, they choose the most nutritious seeds for consumption. However, this mechanism holds only when seed physical traits such as size, coat hardness, and mass are within certain limits. So if those traits are highly variable, seed preference will be driven by seed handling costs. So basically, the rabbit will choose seeds that are easy to handle despite their nutritional value. And still, despite this, the olfactory perception of seed volatiles remain essential for seed detection and seed discrimination, because disabling olfactory receptors render the rabbit or the ground beetle unable to select or detect the presence of any seeds. So this understanding means that seed preference should be treated as a phenomenon of local, not general application, which means that local studies should be conducted to determine which seed species are highly preferable to the local rabbit communities. And therefore, based on this information, we can better estimate the strength of seed predation pressure that those rabbit species in the local communities may exert on the dominant seed species in the environment.